Oh. Oh. Okay, I think next. So we will just to recollect what we were discussing last week. Swami is talking about getting rajas under control. I think we had a lot of discussion about whether rajas is good, tamas is good, what should be controlled, and so on. And Swami says getting rajas under control is an important step in the meditation. That's where we left off. So I will ask the sisters to continue from where we left off. Thank you.
Sairam. Conceit, jealousy, the passionate rajasic exhibition of one's superiority, anger, the craving to inform oneself of the weakness of others and their failings, trickery, all these are obstacles in the path of meditation. Even if these are not patently exhibited, the inner impulses urging one along these wrong directions are latent in the mind. Just as a room kept closed for a long time is found dust-ridden and foul-smelling, is opened, cleaned, and made habitable by elaborate sweeping and dusting, so the mind has to be cleaned by meditation. Spiritual aspirants must, by inward observation, examine the mind and its contents and condition. By proper disciplinary habits, the accumulated dirt should be removed little by little, systematically. Conceit, for example, is deep-rooted and unyielding. In this passionate, rajasic mind, it puts forth many branches in all directions and spreads everywhere. It might appear to be dry and dead for some time, but it will sprout again easily. As soon as a chance arises for its exhibition, it will raise its hood. So spiritual aspirants have to be ever vigilant. With regard to anger, spiritual aspirants have to be vigilant even about the most minor matters that might provoke them, because if they are careless, they cannot progress in the least. Such people must cultivate a humble, loving spirit. Then the bad traits will disappear. Some aspirants become very angry when someone discovers and announces to them the bad traits they possess. This makes matters worse.
So I think it's rather straightforward. So there's nothing much for me to add. I will open it up for the discussion. Anyone can share your thoughts, please. Swami is going into great detail about the qualities which trouble us. So I will just open it up. Anyone can share your thoughts, please. Saira. I think I think we discussed, I think, elaborately, even about the vigilance and things like that also, I guess, the third paragraph. So I think maybe we will move on to the next slide. Let's see. Swami is still continuing to some extent.
Eliminate pride. Aspirants must always have the inward look. If they allow the mind to wander outward, they cannot identify their own faults. Pride prevents the inward look and confuses the examination of the mind. When aspirants want to achieve success, they must bow down to those who point out their faults. That is the way to progress quickly and fast in the path of meditation. And they must endeavor not to entertain the faults any longer. It is hard to get rid of pride and self-love or ego, ahamkara. For everyone has been shaping this life from the beginningless period of time. Everyone has been allowing their mind to flow in the direction it likes for ages past. So it is very difficult now to turn it from its accustomed path and bend its steps in another direction. Individuals full of I, aham, love to exercise authority over others. They will not agree with others that it is bondage, for the arguments of others are not advanced by them. They see everything through glasses colored by the smoke of selfishness and self love. My words are true. My opinion is correct. My deeds are right. Thus they feel and thus they spend their days. Such behavior is very harmful for spiritual aspirants. They must look forward eagerly to any helpful criticism or suggestion or advice from whatever quarter.
Swami is talking about the medicine for pride, which when others criticize us, I think that's what Swami is trying to say. Because whether rightly or wrongly, when others criticize us, it's an opportunity for us to look inward. So I think that's what I see. I will open it up for discussion. Anyone who would like to share your thoughts, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, in the third paragraph, the first sentence, it states that individuals full of I, aham, love to exercise authority over others. I thought full of I, isn't it the ego rather than aham?
So I will ask Auntie Vanibashyam just to read.
Aham is ego only. Aham is ego. When you when you appropriate everything, every action, every thought to yourself, that becomes ego. Saying that I did it, I have done it. So such things, when we say it is aham only. Aham means ego. I. That ego sense comes to us. Sai Ram.
Also, in the second paragraph, the first sentence, the terminology is self-love. I thought that in that sentence, it's hard to get rid of pride, I agree, or ego. I thought self-love is the before you love others, I thought we have to love ourselves. Maybe I had a different meaning of self-love, Didi, but here they have put it equivalent to as ego, ahamkara, but I interpreted differently for self-love, without loving yourself, maybe my school of thought, so it's hard to love others, before you show your kindness or lovingness and to others, you have to respect and love yourself. I thought that is the self-love, but here maybe the wording is different here, or maybe that self-love. Maybe the first time I have seen that ego, it has been equivalent as self-love.
Yeah, here what Swami is saying is self-love here is selfishness. Selfish, self-centered, those things I think he mentions about this.
Maybe self.
Yeah, he's equating ego or self-love. That's what he says. He's equating ego with self-love. What you say, you are correct, Sister Anandi, because people always say, I have to love myself.
Yeah.
First I should love myself, and then I can love others. I have come across people saying that. Here self-love is the, you are respecting your Atma, not your ego there. You are respecting your Atma, the one Paramatma who is in you. That is the love you show to that Atma. I feel, if I'm wrong, please correct me, Arun.
No, I think it's okay.
Sairam, brother.
Sairam, thanks, Auntie.
Auntie said is exactly correct. You have to love yourself, mean who is seated in your heart. Who is seated in your heart? Atma. So same Atma seated in others too. So here self-love means the bodily conscious love. That's what Swami is saying here. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else would like to?
Brother, sorry to ask this. I know if everyone agreed that discussion about Ananti, but the previous page we had that that Rajastic will branch out. Why Swami is saying only the Rajastic will branch out instead of Tamasic, and why he didn't address that part, that is not clear for me. Even last session, study circle I asked, but it wasn't clear. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, sister. Anyone would like to comment? I think sister is worried. Swami has forgotten Thomas.
I thought myself, the last session when sister asked that question, maybe that we are studying is all about meditation and the Dhyana, and which one it would disturb your mind, or it would be an annoyance to you. It could be various things, but the Rajasic mind, it will really disturb you. Tamasic, it would be there, it's not good, and but it wouldn't be an annoyance as it is tamas, the Rajasic mind. Rajasic mind, say for an example, if someone sleeps all the time, or lazy, or someone is really active and they uncontrollable and disturbing all others, the first who has to be controlled or corrected. In my mind, I thought the Rajasic mind should be controlled first, even though the order it comes, first Tamasic, you get into the Rajasic and then Sattvic, but the focus of our, the subject matter is here is the Dhyana or meditation. The Tamasic, it's not good, but that cannot really affect our the Dhyana. But Rajasic, if we have the Rajasic mind, we cannot further proceed. That's why Swami has given much more importance in this particular chapter. That's my humble understanding or my humble opinion on this one. Even though both are bad or both should be corrected, but why Swami has given much importance about the Rajasic mind? Because of this nature.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to?
Yeah, if we have put in a nutshell, the tamasic person is a lazy person. He's not active. So Rajasic is the one active in all kind of things. So that's what Swami is making about the Rajasic persons. His mind is very difficult to control and everything. Thank you, Saira.
That's why Swami in the second year, in the passionate Rajasic mind, it puts forth many branches in all directions. the tamasic may not put all the many branches in all directions, but the rajasic mind, it would spread all over the all over the site, the many branches, and it would be problematic. That's my the thinking. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much. Sairam, I think anyone else? So I see, my understanding is, Swami, I may have not used the word tamas here, but ego itself is tamas in the sense it's ignorance. Ignorance is darkness. Tamas also means darkness. Swami has not necessarily used those words. That's what I would, my understanding is, sister. And as Sister Ananthi has said, Swami is particularly focusing on the meditation. For meditation, the active mind is a bit more of a problem. Because even if the tamasic nature exists, it may not trouble during the meditation. I think, if you go back to the first or second chapter, when Swami is talking about that we should wake up, we should, if you're sleepy, we can have a shower. So that means you won't even sit for meditation in tamas.
Okay.
You won't even sit.
Yes.
Okay, so that Swami has already dealt. First of all, wake up from your sleep. If you're sleepy, put some water, and then you go and sit. So that's a different problem, okay, which Swami, I think, has
So a
addressed.
tamasic person will not think about meditation. If
Yes.
that's okay, good. Thanks. Thank you.
But Rajasic people will say, okay, let me do meditation and come. And I think so, as Sister Ananthi has nicely analyzed, I think that's my understanding also.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
It made sense to me. Okay. Yeah, there's so much Swami can talk, but he's just trying to focus on the meditation itself, is what my understanding is. Sister Ananthi has meditated on it very well.
Thank you.
Yes, and,
I really love the point that the tamasic persons, they wouldn't come to the meditation stage. Yes, they would be still sleeping, or they would be doing something else. Once you sit, yeah, that's a really good point. The tamasic, they wouldn't even come to that stage. Yeah,
they won't come.
Yeah.
So as we can see, Swami is telling, when there is criticism, take benefit from that, Don't worry about them. What they are saying, who they are, doesn't matter. They've told us something to ponder over. Maybe we go back inside and say, okay, maybe there's some area we have to improve. And then let them go, maybe thank them for, making us go inward. I think that's what Swami is telling. If everyone is okay, then we will move on. I think it's pretty clear. I think all of us sort of recognize the issue. Swami says we should never say my words are true, my opinion is correct, my deeds are right. It's easy for us to fall into that. One thing is confidence, one thing is conceit. And I think Swami wants us to be very clear about what it is. And we have to be ever vigilant. I think Swami has already used the word. Okay.
And saying my also is not right. Thank you.
Hi, Ram.
Yes, Kalyani.
So just, I guess, two questions. So Swami saying we have to look forward to any criticism. So I guess he says you're helpful criticism. So like I think we've discussed before, if it's criticism that's obviously false or it's not true at all, then we don't need to pay heed to that, right? Okay, and then my second question was, so I know that we shouldn't say my words are true, my opinion is correct, my deeds are right, yet that's what we all want to do. Like we want to say words that are true, we want to have opinions that we feel are right, or do the things that are right. So is that such a bad thing to feel that way? Or because isn't that what we're trying to do? Like we're trying to do all and dharma.
It seems like a paradox, isn't it? Yeah. Anyone has something to say to this?
There, the ego is speaking. My words are true. My opinion is correct, and what I am doing is correct. This is all ego. The love for yourself, your own opinion, makes you talk like that. But I think it's not very good behavior on spiritual aspirants, especially. Sairam.
So
Thank you very much.
maybe
Sairam,
no, go ahead.
Sairam, okay, yeah. I don't know. When I look at it, it does confusing, because it is confusing when at one point you want to say the right thing, or you feel confident what you're saying is correct, right, or I am right in my opinion. I guess the difficulty comes is when it's one thing to say it, but not get attached to it in a sense, right? I don't know how to define that. Saying the right thing is fine, but don't get the ego come and play. So what is the dharmic way you're doing the duty, but that's saying the right thing because what you believe, but don't get too attached and get emotional and get ego come into play, then you get ownership of it. I don't know, that's how I look at it. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. It comes.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. I think Sister Aruna wanted to say something.
Oh, the my always bring the ego, as Auntie said, and there's a my takes away it won't allow, so attachment is there, my. And the other thing is you will close the door for other people's opinion. In the first paragraph, Swami said open mind, that is closed. So my comes, everything closed. That's the way I will look at it. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you.
With
Thank you.
sorry, Sairam.
Yes,
With
Auntie.
authority, you say that my words are correct, my actions are correct. When you start saying that with that authority, and you are not ready to accept others' opinion, others' views, then comes the problem. Maybe you are correct when maybe your deeds are correct and your opinion is also correct, but it is not good for a person to close your doors, to close your mind to others' opinion. That's what I feel, Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Kalyani, I think you were about to say something.
Yes, I guess because I guess I understand that you should be trying to do the right thing, but you're not necessarily feeling that your way is the only way. But I suppose you do still have to have confidence in what you're doing, and knowing that it's because we do also talk about having faith in Swami and just following Swami and closing our ears and eyes to other things in the world. So I think I understand.
Yeah, I think very. Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yeah, Sairam, brother. So we have to understand we are doing the spiritual, what we call the meditation. Meditation, we have to calm the mind. But if we have the desire is the main cause that will bring the ego, I and mind. So when that I and mind comes, you cannot do the meditation. So because your ego won't allow you to keep the mind calm. So you have to calm the mind, mean you should not have the ego. Even the Jesus, the purpose of the Jesus, the cross, kill the I. So we have to not allow the ego to come inside our thing. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. So
in Telugu, Swami says this.
Yes, Auntie.
Ittivadu ahamuto koodina pacha kamara. What is called? Manjakamala, what do you say? Manjakamala.
Yellow fever, or I don't know.
Jaundice?
Jaundice, yes, jaundice.
Yeah, what Swami is saying is,
I don't know.
you are correct. You are correct. Itti ఇటివాడు అహముతో కూడిన పచ్చకామారల కన్నులు కలిగి ఉండును. He has that yellow eye.
Jaundiced eye.
Yeah, that is his. So Swami is saying here, glasses colored by the smoke of selfishness and self-love. Swami takes it as that one who is suffering jaundiced eye. Jaundiced eye. That's what. So everything looks yellow to him, and he says, yeah, I am correct. నేను చెప్పినదే సరి అయినది, నేను చేయనిదే సరి అయినది అను అహముతో కాలము గడుపును. ఇవి అన్నీ సాధకులకు సరి అయినవు కావు. ఇట్స్ నాట్ గుడ్ ఫర్ ఆస్పిరెంట్స్. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. See, pardon?
Sarah, brother, when you start with all the time with my, then you are not you are blocking the other people's view. At the same time, you are not learning either. So your understanding, everything going to be limited with that. So always the my has to be removed to see other things clearly. So as Auntie said, if you put the glass like a yellow glass, everything going to be yellow. You don't know other colors then. So the my has to be like a really a thing we have to remove. Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
And I guess one thing I was just wondering is like, so if we were to practically apply this, is it that when we have an opinion or we do a thing, we always leave room in our mind to say that, okay, this may not be the right thing. This may not be the absolute truth. This is what I think is true at this time, but I could be changed and be open to being changed.
I think very, very true, Kalyan. I think that's what it is. Ultimately, it is that I would say. I think one of the things which we have to understand is what is right for us may not be right for others. See, that, what I think is right for everyone, if anyone thinks like that, then I think it's a problem. That is when all problems start. Because that's when ego has come. See, there's one thing to say, I will follow what the Lord is doing to my understanding, and I will stick by that, because I have confidence in that, that even if I'm wrong, the Lord will correct. Okay, so we should give that benefit of doubt for our own self. The thing is, we may be wrong, as you very correctly said. That is why when we have that kind of attitude, we will never force our opinion on others. I think ultimately that's what it boils down to. Then it's a bit more sattvic, because the reason is sometimes not only we want to feel that we are right, we want others to recognize that we are right, and that is the biggest problem. Because that sort of takes over. Then we forget everything and we try to prove to everyone what we are saying is right. And then we are on a wrong path. They are just to make that, then we are just blowing our own trumpet of sort. I think that can become a problem. I think even when you're doing the right thing, we have to be vigilant that we don't slip and fall. And I think that's what I understand. You are right.
We want others' opinion also, approval also, rather. Approval from others is more important for us. So your ego is still bloated then. When you say that. Sairam.
Yes. Because only then we can improve. If we think we are perfect, we will never improve. So we should say we are not perfect yet. So I think, yes, that's right. That's my understanding. It's a tricky, it's not an easy path. Spirituality is every step can be a slippery slope.
Sairam, Swami, in the very last sentence, Swami said the spiritual aspirants must look forward eagerly. He stressed the word eagerly to any helpful criticism or suggestion or advice from whatever quarter. So in practical point of view, Sister Kalyani has already asked that question. Sometimes we will think about ourselves. We are doing right thing, and we are not ready, we may not ready to accept others' viewpoints or others' suggestions or their counterpoints, but if we look forward eagerly, the eagerly means so every action or the everything before we do, we should ask others to get the approval or the others to say something, okay, this is the right path, you go, or this is the thing you should do or you shouldn't do. In practical point of view, is it possible to look forward eagerly from others' opinions or viewpoints? I know Swami didn't say this one for the ordinary person. Swami said this for the spiritual aspirants. That's for that differentiate from the ordinary person and the spiritual aspirants. And the spiritual aspirants should be willing to accept the criticism and the suggestion, good or bad. They should be, willing, at least willing to listen, willing to hear the other's point of view. But in practical point of view, theoretically I agree, but practical point of view, how we can apply this one in the day-to-day, thing, as a spiritual aspirant, even the center activities or at home or in the community level, before we do, we have to ask the other's opinion, or maybe only our mind, if it says you are doing something bad, then you have to ask the opinion, or in the theoretically I agree, but the practical point of view, I am thinking how we can apply in our day-to-day life. We always think whatever in our mind, whatever thoughts, words, and deeds, as the Swamis, Swami's teaching followers, we always think my words are true, my opinion is correct, my deeds are right, and everything right. Then it's really hard to think about I am doing really bad something. So I'm asking for the practical tips, how we can overcome that one and take it readily from others' criticism. Normally we will be angry and upset. Even the very good friends, or the very good the center members, even they say slightly a little thing, we always upset. Even it wouldn't be angry, but we will be upset and worry, and why I am going to the center, and that sort of things always it pops up. That's why I'm asking this question. Thank you, Saira. Maybe I have taken a little longer to explain.
Good question, sister. I will again ask others to chime in and tell what you think.
Sairam, there is one constructive criticism and the other one is destructive criticism. If it is constructive criticism which helps you to improve a person's behavior or whatever work, what action he is doing, I think it is welcome. We have to have that kind of, we have to develop that kind of attitude in our minds to accept others' opinion also. Then, you weigh whether it is, use our discrimination and try to understand whether it's good or bad. And then, leave it to your own discretion and then do the work. I feel that is the way how you can, of course, what Sister Anandi said, the moment somebody criticizes us, we get upset. We get upset, so upset that our mind starts working in different ways. That, to control that kind of mind and then to develop an attitude to accept others' opinion also should be there. And it takes a long time to, the difference between response and reaction, that we have to say. We immediately react, but we can respond to the situation. So a little bit of thinking is needed, Saira.
Sairam, Auntie Sairam, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Auntie.
In the Telugu, does Swami also say, because it's one thing to accept criticism from whatever quarter, but then also it says suggestion or advice from anyone. So I feel like that's kind of a...
Auntie, can you read the Telugu? I don't know.
Auntie is muted, I don't know.
Sorry. తన తప్పును ఎవరైనా చెప్పినను ఒప్పుకొనుచు సరి అయిన యోచనలు మార్గములు ఎవరు చెప్పుదురో అని కాచుకొని ఉండవలెను. And that's not it here. I think it's not.
That's what Auntie.
Acha. Okay, let me read it again. తన తప్పును ఎవరు చెప్పినను, whoever tells you, ఒప్పుకొనుచు సరి అయిన యోచనలు, that's all, you just agree, and then సరి అయిన యోచనలు మార్గములు ఎవరు చెప్పుదురో అని కాచుకొని ఉండవలను. You have to wait for the others to tell you their opinion. తన తప్పును సమర్థించుకొనుటకు ప్రయత్నించకూడదు. Don't defend your faults. అదియు లేనిపోని వాదనకు, that is not here. I think it's not yet come. Only those 4 lines, I think it will. You have to wait for others' suggestion, advice. Swami is saying here. సరియైన యోచనలు మార్గములు ఎవరు చెప్పుదురో అని కాచుకొని ఉండవలను. They must look forward for suggestion and advice.
So
Kalyani, what was she asking?
Yeah, so she's asking.
Yeah. It just seems like interesting that Swami would say we should accept suggestion and advice from anyone, or because no.
Swami is telling, any good advice or good suggestions, will they come? We should wait. We should wait for such things to come and accept it. Okay, that's what Swami is saying. Sariyaina means not helpful. I would say correct.
Correct. Okay.
Sariya, Auntie, my.
You're correct.
See, my opinion is correct.
Yeah. Now, we are talking about something very serious and you are claiming yourself.
This is the way we fall into this trap,
You have fallen into the trap. I should say.
Yes. So
it is okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so I think it's not necessarily Swami is talking about criticism. Swami is telling any good advice, will it come our way? That's the way we should look, you see. Will it come? That type of eagerness we should look out for. Look out for good advices and good suggestions, and so that we can improve. That's the way we should go about Swami saying.
So in other words, just be open-minded and welcome any. Yeah.
Look out. Look at what Arun said, look out for good advice.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
So we don't need to go and seek advice. Swami is not telling go and seek. If you're seeking, then we should go to someone, I guess, like Swami, and ask Swami's advice. Swami is not telling seek. He's telling just look out, be observant. Okay, I think that's open. I think being open-minded to accept all good advices. I think that's what Swami is encouraging us to do. I hope now Sister Ananthi is okay with the question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's clear. Don't ask, but when it comes, you with your open mind, you assess yourself, that sort of meaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if everyone is okay, I think we all understand, I guess, no? So it's just a matter of practicing it, let's see.
Besides, aspirants must minimize all discussions and argumentation, for this breeds a spirit of rivalry and leads one on an angry reprisals and vengeful fighting. Do not struggle to earn the esteem of the world. Do not feel humiliated or angry when the world does not recognize you or your merits. Learn this first and foremost if you are an aspirant for spiritual success. Do not become happy when you are being praised. Therein lies a deadly trap, which might even lead you astray and endanger your progress. Thus, you must reform your mental traits and habits. Cultivate the habit of never causing pain to others. Try to understand others and sympathize with them and do things that will be helpful. Train yourself to take insult and criticism as decorations awarded to you. Struggle hard to be friendly with everyone, whatever their nature or conduct. A sense of joy is necessary for meditation and concentration to progress, but many things deprive you of the atmosphere of joy. So you must pray sincerely in order to be free from such obstacles. The recite or repetition of mantras will be of great help.
Swami is giving a lot of advice, how to deal with life and people.
Brother, this is a question. Swami said in one place, run away from people, okay, when you get bad company. And here, Swami says, struggle hard to be friendly with everyone. So there's two different situations Swami may be saying. Can we little analyze on that, please? Thank you.
So I will ask Sister, Auntie Mani Auntie to read the Telugu, and then we will launch on the discussion. Otherwise, we may, spend. Auntie, if it's okay.
Let me read it. మొదట మానసిక పద్ధతులు మార్చుకొనవలెను. నొప్పించిన అభ్యాసములు ఇతరులు ఉపదేశములు తెలుసుకొని అతనికి మంచిది అని తోచిన వాటి ప్రకారము నడుచుకొనుట ఇట్టివి ప్రయత్నించవలెను. అమర్యాద ఆక్షేపణ భూషణముల వలె తలంచవలెను. When criticism come to you, what is it called? Decorations, he said. Train your mind to take insult and criticism as decorations awarded to you. ఇతరులు ఎట్టివారైనా సరిపెట్టుకొనుటకు ప్రయత్నించవలను. Whoever, whatever the other person may be, but you yourself train yourself in a proper way. సాధన యందు ఇట్టి అవాంతరములు అడ్డము కలిగి ధ్యాన ధారణలను అభ్యసించుటకు సంతోషం ఉండదు. ఇట్టి అడ్డంకులను మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ప్రార్థించి తొలగించుకోవలను. That's what he is saying.
Okay, so Auntie, that this word, I think this sentence is what ఇతరులట్టి వారైనను సరిపెట్టు కొనుటకు
ప్రయత్నించవలను. ఇతరులు ఎట్టివారైనా however they are సరిపెట్టుకొనుటకు ప్రయత్నించవలను. Learn to do in English. What does he say?
He's saying friendliness, so that's why
friendly to be there.
Is it saripettu is friendly?
సరిపెట్టేది అంటే make it correct.
Make it good, is it?
Make it good, yeah. ఇతరులు ఎట్టివారైనా Cultivate the habit of never causing pain to others. Try to understand others and sympathize with them. And do things that will be helpful. Helpful to whom? Helpful to you or to the other person?
Sir.
Try to understand others and sympathize with them and do things that will be helpful. Saryaina. That's what Swami is saying.
Others.
Pardon?
You are sympathizing with the others and do things that will be helpful to them or to us. What is he saying, Swami?
I think do things that will be helpful to the situation, both, I think, right? In that sense. Sympathize with them and
Yeah.
that'll be helpful. So when you're sympathizing, it's a situation too, right? Not just the other person. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, I agree with Sister Narmada that it's in this particular context and in the sentence structure that will be helpful to the situation, not necessarily to me or other person.
Yeah.
Whether the situation, if that will be helpful, to that situation, do that kind of, yeah.
Swami is totally talking about a seeker. So it applies to us.
so the word is actually, I think Auntie, I think Sister Aruna's question is, should we become friendly with them? I think that was the question. See, Saripettu does not necessarily mean becoming friendly. I think it means you make it good. That means whatever you do, so that it becomes positive.
Yeah, positive. Maybe that is the correct word.
Yeah. So make it positive. So what it basically means, I was just checking the translation. He says you can see. Saripettu also means kill it. Also, finish it off.
No.
I mean, when I say complete, see, if something is not right, you just put an end to it.
Fix it
Fix
can
it.
be.
Fix it.
That is the better thing. Here, no, they talk in Canada. I'll come across it. I'll fix you. Fix it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So Swami is saying fix the problem. Okay. Fix the problem can be, that's why Swami has not given this what you should do. You need to do what is appropriate for the situation and then move on. If we're just accepting the situation, accept it. If you want to stop the situation, stop the situation. If you have to leave the place, leave the place. So, but whatever you do what is good.
What is good for you?
What is good? I think that is what Swami is saying.
Yeah.
Make it good. Do anything which is make it good, so that it is positive, so that you don't continue the negative. So Swami is not telling be friendly and struggle hard. No.
No, he is not saying.
Thank you. Yes.
Sister Aruna was troubled. So we have. I think Sister Anita has put up her hand. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Sai Ram. I was thinking maybe Baba is saying that be congenial. Like if we empathize where the other person is coming from, that means like it could be even wrong, but we are empathizing with that person where they are coming from, to be in their shoes, and then understanding. And we can always disagree, like we don't have to agree, but if you empathize, the other person will understand that you're not criticizing, maybe. Sairam.
No, just thank you, Brother Dasan. I will just take Mani Aunty. I was looking at the Telugu dictionary. Saripettu, one of the meaning is champu.
Champesade. For you.
What is that?
It doesn't apply here. It doesn't apply here.
No, I looked up the dictionary in Telugu.
In other
Saripettu means, see, one of the word champu means kill.
Kill. That's the extreme step which we can take.
Okay, Brother Dasan, go ahead.
Sairam, brother, if you want to put it in a nutshell, so Swami always says, love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. So in that way, we can avoid all this anger and criticism and everything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, brother. Thank you. Because Swami says when we criticize or harm others, actually we are harming ourselves also, you see. So that's what, so avoid such situations, however you want to. So, thank you. See, actually, we're talking about acceptance. Here, Swami has said, do not struggle to earn the esteem of the world. You see,
Yeah.
So that is.
Okay.
Okay, if everyone is okay, we will continue on. That's okay. Yes.
Follow Krishna's advice and meditate. In the third age of humans, the Dwapara Yuga, Krishna said, when you start fixing your thoughts on me,
Look
all
at it.
all thoughts that agitate you will be stilled through my grace. Matichika Sarva.
Wait,
Okay.
Narmada, I will read it.
Thank you.
Machitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi.
Thank you,
Machitta,
Aunty.
yeah. The meaning here is one who keeps his focus on me. I will see that all his worries are removed. Yeah. Machitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyati. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Aunty. This discipline of meditation must be rigorously followed. In fact, Dhyana meditation means discipline. Discipline, regularity, steadiness, these are the essentials of meditation. A spiritual aspirant who keeps these things in view can achieve quick results. Meditation is a first-class cure for the illness of worldly existence, Bhavaroga. Along with it, another drug must also be taken. Its name is contentment. If there is contentment in the mind, one enjoys an endless festival. Craving makes the mind waver. It is an all-consuming fire that will destroy people slowly and surely. The royal road to meditation is contentment. Just as a traveler who has trudged along for miles in the scorching sun feels refreshed when taking a bath in the limpid waters of a cool and shady lake, so too the unfortunate individual struggling in the scorching heat of desires feels happy and relieved when bathing in the lake of contentment.
It is Bhavaroga.
Bhavaroga.
Bhavaroga. Bhava means samsaram. That
Existence.
pain that we go through is in the samsara. That's called Bhavaroga. Sorry, I think I had to correct you.
No, it's a good auntie. I think it's, thank you. So Swami is nicely telling, mat chittaha means think of me, thoughts of me. Mat means my chitta. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, think of me. Sarva dhurgani, sarva all the agitations.
Agitations.
Okay, mat prasadat, my prasadam, my grace, my prasada, tarishyat. Okay, Swami is saying it will be all removed or stilled. That's the way Swami has translated. So the Swami is giving the treatment, the cure for the ailments. And of course, there's one ailment separate one he's giving, which is contentment. Craving and contentment. Maybe that's contentment itself, the medicine for craving. Any comments, please? I will open it up for any comments.
Sairam brother, I like this one, cure for the illness of worldly existence. So why we are taking medicine? So because we don't want to take the medicine again. So same way, if we don't want to get the worldly existence again, that means birth and the death, that cycle, if you want to come out from that one, then you have to take the royal road to meditation. So once you have the names, when you're doing the meditations, Lord's name, you will be other side of the worldly existence. Thank you, Saira.
One of the, it's just a slight distraction, but I think it was a question somebody had asked. They were asking about the 16 kalas, 16 attributes of an avatar. I think we're discussing yesterday in our Samarpan talk, Brother Sanjay Sani was telling Swami had apparently told that the last two kalas of an avatar is Nama and Rupa.
Nama and Rupa, yeah, correct. He was saying yesterday.
Yes, so that means it is all of us also have Nama and Rupa, but the Nama and Rupa of avatar is such that it can take you across. So that name and that form and meditation again, so I was thinking about our Dhyana Vahini. Swami said the Rupa is essential and then the Nama is essential. So when whosoever name and form which will take us across, that person is an avatar. That's one of those two qualities. That's what I thought. So I thought I'd just mention.
And when his name is taken, when his name is chanted, when his Rupa is there in the form of a picture, there he is present. That's also he said.
Yes.
Swami is present there. Madbhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtami narada. Same.
Yes. So actually, the sloka, the Bhagavad Gita sloka itself, Krishna has told what is meditation. My thoughts. So.
Thoughts on me.
Thoughts on me. Sorry.
Yeah, thoughts on me.
Yeah, when you have thoughts on a Lord, and you will get the karma, artha, moksha, and self-realization when you fully surrender to the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you. So if everyone is okay, maybe we'll go to the next slide.
The three guards, peace, contentment, and discrimination. At the gates of liberation, moksha, and self-realization, shakshatra, three guards are posted to ask for you for your credentials. They are peace or mental equilibrium, joy or contentment, and inquiry or discrimination. Shanti, santosha, and vichara. Even if one of the guards is made to become friendly, the others will facilitate your entry. First in the series is peace. If you make peace yours, contentment, dripti, is yours. And contentment is the highest source of joy and the most valuable possession. It is as much as an empire. Without contentment, desire, kama, and greed, lobha, attain dangerous proportions and will overwhelm the power of discrimination itself. Desire easily becomes greed, and greed degenerates into miserliness, and lust, which make you flit from object to object in mad pursuit of the evanescent sensual joy. How can people with such qualities develop the faculty of concentration? And without the capacity to concentrate, how can they engage in meditation? And without meditation, no one can get Godhead, Daivam.
Thank you very much, Sister. Swami is, systematically, is one by one, he's giving us very practical tips to get to the goal of meditation. Anyway, I will open it up for any comments, please.
I guess just this, a broad question, like how do we get contentment? Like it seems like we have to get rid of our desires, but I feel some desires are just like so strongly, like they're just so strong and ingrained in us. Like when you're young, like you may have this strong desire to have a family, to have children. Like how do you really get rid of that? Or is it something with when it's so strong that you should just, I guess, do it in a dharmic way? And then after you experience that through life experience, you'll be able to give up that desire, or?
Yeah, I will open stuff for yes. Good question, Kalyani.
So, Sairam, brother. So, my
Yes.
opinion is desire. Desire and the spiritual is the opposite direction. If you have desire, you cannot be on the spiritual side. That's what Swami is saying. Because the desire bring you anger. Anger, Swami is explaining like a fire. The fire wants, if you take a fire, if you put anything inside the fire, it will burn. It wants more and more. It doesn't stop. Whatever you put it inside will take it. So when you started to get desire, your desire is going to be more and more and more is going to develop. So all the other bad 6 qualities is going to become ego and moga, macharya, mother, everything's going to come. So you cannot be on the spiritual side. So if you have kids or if you want to enjoy that, vigilant is the important, awareness is the important. Always think about the God. And when you do your duty with love, when you are not attached to that one, you have to attach to the God only. In your heart, only God can sit there, only one chair there in your heart. You cannot allow, because the people who overcome, even husband, wife, and everybody you met in the middle, one day they're going to leave you. So who is going to be your next birth? Who is going to take care of you? Only God. So he is the permanent. You have to believe on him. You have to trust on him. So once we understand desire and the spiritual is the opposite direction. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, brother. Anyone else would like to share any thought?
Sairam, in the first paragraph, in the last sentence, Swami talks more about contentment, the tirupti, the Swami nicely explained about the contentment is the highest source of joy and the most valuable possession. It is as much as an empire. But the contentment or tirupti is the relative measurement. Whatever the satisfaction or tirupti I am having may not be for the other person. These are the variable and the relative measurement. I may ask in the same set of the conditions or the set of factors, and if someone asks, I may say that I'm very satisfied, and the other person may say I'm not satisfied at all. So that whenever tirupti comes in, it's a very relative measure, and how practically we bring that the important element into our mind or something. How to I know even in my childhood I always look at in our the death anniversaries or Tivasam, the people they give out the Tidi to the Brahmanas, they always ask whether are you Tirupti, and the other one it says I am Tirupti, satisfied in the English meaning, and I was wondering why they asked that question at that time when I was 4 or 5 years old. Every year, Tidi, they will ask that question. But my point in the meditation setup, how we bring into that the meditation progress, this Tirupti in a practical way. Because some Tirupti, we have already nicely discussed and the very elaborative discussion on this one. The Tirupti and the desire, it could be two different things or it could be overlapping thing too. Tirupti may not be full of the desire. I don't know how to bring that point. Maybe Tirupti and the desire are two different things, maybe overlapping, maybe some of the how to measure the Tirupti, whether I am satisfied or whether that is a good Tirupti or that is a desire, how to differentiate the desire and the Tirupti. And when it comes to Tripti, I thought even in our the worldly life or it's like a family life. If I say I am very satisfied in the very young age, okay, whatever the education or the other things, if I see I am satisfied, then I wouldn't move further. How practically we can say that I am very satisfied, I am very peaceful, I am the three gods, the peace, contentment, and the discrimination, I am very satisfied, my life is fulfilled. At what point I would say, I am very satisfied.
I think, let me talk about Tripti. Tripti is satisfied, I think. So the practice is when you give something to a Brahmin, you ask them, are you satisfied? And usually they say they are satisfied even though they are not. That's so one of the, how actually, that's why Tithi in those days, they usually feed the people and ask them, are you satisfied? Swami says only when somebody is hungry and you give them food, that is the only time when they can't eat anything more, they will say, we are satisfied. If you give anything else to people, they will never be satisfied because they can pack and take it home. Okay, so usually you feed the person and ask, are you satisfied? So that's what Swami says, Narayana Seva is good because generally once they are full, people will say, I don't want anything more to eat. Okay, I think that's Tripti is just to be feeling of satisfied. I think, but the Sister Kalyani's question is, we are all wired to desire, and because of desire, we have earned things. And then what do we do now? I think that's her question. How do we change that habit? Which
Brother,
yes.
Yeah, Kalyani's question, I think it's a life stage, right? Whatever you are going through, every time when you go like a moving to a different stages, you have to have the contentment. Like, this is enough. That may be that you will only derive from the meditation, thinking of God. Like, anything too much is not good. Like, before we studied, anything too much money is not good, too much things, like that only. I would say for Kalyani's question, because having children, having family, all these things are the life part is given by Swami, right? Like, that's the human life, right? That's the way of I'm thinking on that. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Saira, contentment is an attribute of the mind. The mind should feel good about anything. Regarding the question of Sister Anandi, giving money to the brahmanas on the occasions, they will never feel happy. That's monetary thing. The monetary thing which you are giving, and they will never feel tripti. There is no tripti there at all. But here contentment is in the mind. Sometimes I feel the circumstances from where you are coming also helps a person to feel contented with whatever we have. Yeah, in Shirdi Baba's story, a maid servant, a poor maid servant who is in rags, she is working in a house cleaning the vessels. So she gets a new sari one day. Somebody gives her. The next day she wears it and then she feels so happy, so contented. And on that day she dances, she sings everything. But the next day when she comes back again in the same rags and still she is singing. That is contentment. That is tripti. So Shirdi Baba's story, this incident comes. I think circumstances teach us how to be content with what. When you can't afford to have more and more, then naturally you feel contented. Contentment will come to you. I feel so. Anyway, Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Anyone else has something to say?
Yes, Sairam, brother. So whatever the auntie said is exactly correct, because that peace is a very important. Once you have the peace, joy and discrimination will come. That's what Swami is saying. But most of the people are thinking that that satisfy is come from external things. Never. It has to come from your heart. The satisfaction is within your heart. So you have to understand clearly that even if you go to vacation, or it's not going to be happy. Again, you're going to be some kind of problems too. So you have to be happy. So for an example, we are living in Canada. So we have to be thankful for the God. We are living in such a country. We have good educations, but still people are not satisfied. Why? You have to ask those kind of questions. Then you will be become very peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Any other thoughts, please? So Kalyani, I think I will share what others have shared. So I will see, one thing we should all understand is when we are born with what's called prarabdham, which is a set of karma which we have to undergo in this life. Okay. In reality, everything, if we don't mess anything more, prarabdham will run its course. The thing is, you can't change too much. Even if you make a mess, that problem will come only in the next birth. Okay, because this life, everything is actually reasonably fixed. Circumstances, you should understand, our circumstances are all fixed. To whom we are born, who we will marry, who will be our children. There are people who want children, when children, they will never get children. You can try everything under the sun, they will not get, because that is the prarabdha. Okay. So in life, we will go through life with various experiences and we will be put in various circumstances according to our prarabdha karma. See, this is the Sanatana Dharma philosophy, okay? So that cannot be changed, okay? But then when we go through that, if we understand that this is what is my lot, but within this, I am not going to crave for anything. I'm just going to accept and be satisfied with whatever I have. That is a state of mind which Mani Aunty was saying that we have to cultivate. That is independent of our life situation. That's the story of, Shirdi Baba's story. A poor woman also, with whatever you can be contented. So I think once we realize, let's not complain about our circumstances. We are in the circumstances of whatever it is. But whatever the circumstances, if we cultivate contentment, thinking, Swami has given the answer in the previous slide actually, mat prasadat. That means, think as my prasadam to you. This is what God has given. If we accept that, we will right away be contented. But the thing is, usually what happens is, why am I in these circumstances? let my circumstance be different. Maybe I'm going to sit in an ashram and, we will sit and meditate throughout the day. That is not spirituality. That is just our mind playing tricks. Because in the ashram also we will have problem. Okay. So Swami says, if you go to the forest also, the problem will come with you. Okay.
Ashanti Makutiva Prashanti Nilyam. Even if you go to Prashanti Nilyam, Shanti will not come.
So I think what Swami is telling is, don't worry about the life circumstances. Okay. Don't even think, because sometimes mind says, because you desired, you have this. No, you already came. Okay. This desire may cause something in the future, maybe next life. Okay. But the thing is, the desire also gives disappointments. So Swami wants us to work on that. Go through your circumstances just the way they are, but change the way you react to the experiences and be accepting. Think of me. That is also prasadam which has come along. See, sometimes we only look at the half empty. Okay, but we have got the half full, if at all, because we know about Swami, we know about meditation, we are reading Dhyana Vahini. That is also prarabdha, some good prarabdha. So the thing is, we just should accept whatever the circumstances. Don't regret, don't feel guilty, just be accepting. Swami, you have given us everything. This is something which I have to go through for my own betterment. So again, going back to the previous thing, everything you accept, and take the positive from each circumstances, whoever it is, whatever circumstances. And once we have contentment, we will be able to accept the positive. Even if somebody beats us up, we will say, okay, that's fine. As soon as we do that, we will actually benefit from that situation also, I think. So Swami is asking us to cultivate that. I hope you are contented with the answer.
Very content. But one thing that you said was, is what's kind of getting me. Like you said, we think that because we desired, we have these circumstances. And because if I didn't desire for, getting married, having a child, then I wouldn't, right? Like
sometimes you will get, sometimes you won't get. There are many who have desire and it doesn't happen. Why? Because it is not the desire which makes it happen, it's the prarabdha which makes it happen. But our mind says, you look here, you desired, so you have it. No, it is not so. I think that is a trick. That's a trick mind plays. I hope it's okay.
Yes, but because I guess what's getting me is if I say that, okay, from now on, I will have no desire, then
things will not change.
Okay.
But contentment will come.
Okay.
Contentment will be there. I think that is the benefit. See, that's what Swami is telling. Craving is the problem. As soon as you give up craving, you will have contentment. So that is the benefit. Circumstances will never change, the way you want. That means you are again craving. You are thinking you can trick. The mind is telling, just be contented, so your situation will be better. No, that's also a trick of the mind. No, you have to be contented, whatever the circumstances. Only then it is pure. I think good. It's the real contentment.
So even if I never desired, if I did not desire for, getting married or having a child, like if it was meant to be, it would just come to me somehow?
Yes.
Really?
You can't avoid.
That's a prarabdha.
That's prarabdha. Unless divine grace intervenes. That's my understanding. Okay. Others can share their. I may not be correct. Okay. But it works for me, so it's okay. Okay, I think Sister Anita had been waiting patiently.
No, I'm learning. It's so amazing. But prarabdha, I wanted to know, because my mom used to use that word a lot. Is prarabdha from previous birth karma, and then the karma now we are doing is for the future. Is that what it is? Can you explain the difference between the two?
So I will, Mani Auntie, you want to explain?
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sai.
Prarabdha. It's not prarabdha.
Prarabdha.
Yeah, that is correct. There are three types. One is sanchita karma, one is prarabdha karma, and the other one is Agami karma. So this Sanchita karma, you have collected a lot of, by your actions in the previous so many births, you have collected so many vasanas in your life. And you know, from just like in a branch in a bank, you keep all your deposit. You draw a little bit deposit for this life. Okay, as just like that, from Sanchita karma, you have drawn a little bit of that vasanas, that karma, and you are going through this life. You exhaust. You are trying to exhaust them, but at the same time, you are correcting other prarabdha, these things also.
So you could be creating more baggage along as you go.
More baggage. So that baggage will go to the Agami karma for future life. Again, it becomes Sanchita karma. That is it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for explaining. I get it now.
Okay. It's prarabdha. What you are going through, is prarabdha karma. Everything is destiny. Destiny is playing.
Okay. So it's Sanchit. Sorry, Sanchit and prarabdha and then
Sanchita. 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 Sanchita means bag. Sanchi means bag. Sanchita. Okay. It is
Thank
corrected
you,
there.
Manyanti. Thank you so much. Sairam.
Sairam Manyanti, the Sanchidam, Prarabdham and Ahami, that's the past accumulation and the present karma and the future karma. Yeah?
Future Agami. Agami is the future. You're doing whatever you are doing now in this birth will become Agami karma for future generation. You are doing the blueprint. You are drawing a blueprint for your future life by doing good things. Yeah,
yes. So the order it would be coming the Sanchida, Prarabdha and the Ahamiya. The
Agami.
Present and the future.
Yeah.
That would be the order, yeah?
No,
order.
see, no, Sanchita is your bank account, sister. Sanchita is the bank account.
Oh, Sanchita is the bank account. The Prarabdha is the...
What you have drawn.
What you have drawn.
For this year, this life.
That in that way it goes with the Sanchita is the bank account. Prarabdha is what I have drawn, and whatever it would be carry forward for the future, that would be the Ahamiya.
Whatever you are doing this lifetime, it will be Agamiya. And then that will go into the Sanchita account.
Again. A collection of all the karmas and deposit it in the bank. Big bundle.
Manyanti, like... do we have a joint account too?
No. You have to go through your own. Nobody will share it with you.
No, sister.
Yeah, collectively.
No, actually, we can make it a joint account with God.
That's good. He will grace us. He will give the grace and then mitigate the whole effect of the karma.
Yeah, so so try to create a joint account.
That's true.
So it is, Sister Anandi, it's like, you know, you have a bank account, your money. Okay, you're withdrawn for your expenses and you're going to work and you're working, the salary is going to be credited to the account.
That's Aham.
That's the Aham.
That's Aham.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I misunderstood. I thought maybe normally in the spiritual maybe discourses they always say Sanjita, Prarabdha and Ahami. I thought it comes in the order, maybe the past, present and future. Now I am clear. The Sanjita is the bank account. Yeah. And it would be nice if we can have maybe the collectively it's like a group account or it's like an insurance and other things. That would be nice.
But the bank account is also your bank account has been collectively gone increasing from the past births. Past births also. You have to take it into account. Saira.
Hundreds of births or thousands of births we have collected.
Yeah. Brother, now the time passed, but I want the last question, please. And without meditation, no one can get Godhead. This is something like one sentence it has like why that I can understand it's a powerful way of saying, but I'm trying to understand that sentence. That's the way I can put it. Still, I'm thinking why Swami says, and without meditation, no one can get Godhead. And the Godhead also, it's a terminology they're using. Why? That kind of thing. I don't know why I'm thinking like that.
Okay, I will ask others to comment. I think Brother Dasan also raised his hand.
Yeah, so Sairam brother, whatever the karma you have collected, that only way you can burn with the bhakti. Swami saying, with the bhakti is the only way you can burn it. So you have to do the bhakti and dhyana too. Dhyana, when you meditate on that one, dhyana is the purpose of the dhyana is controlling that mind. Once you control the mind and you are focusing the form, then you will see the God. And more you are interact with the God, and you will get the self-realization eventually. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment? So maybe, okay, I will just say something. It's already 4:26, if it's okay. A brief answer, Sister Aruna. The thing is, see, sometimes we think meditation means sitting in the morning and doing meditation. It's from my understanding, what Swami is saying is you should always think of him. Machitta, that's what Swami has said. Think, have your thoughts on me, which is the form and the name. And without that, you cannot attain God, is my understanding. So the thing is, you need to know where you are going. Where we are going, we should have our focus on that. Then only we will go. So which is, if you want to merge with the Lord, you need to have the name and the form, and that will take you there. And your thoughts have to be always focused. Otherwise, the thoughts are going to drag you somewhere else. Because all of us have thoughts. If our thoughts are not trained, wherever the thoughts go, we will also be dragged there. So Swami is basically saying, have your thoughts focus on me, so then you will reach me.
Yeah. So in that, at the end, we come to meditation. That's what Swami is trying to tell us.
Whatever you are doing, there's no...
Yes, at the end, it comes to meditation.
No paths, all one path. It's all one path only. Whether you are doing service, you have to have the focus on it. Whether you are doing bhajans, you have to have them. Whether you are reading Swami's literature, you need to have, So whatever you are doing, that is a constant in all paths. Okay, but it's all one path because that is the path.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Before we close, Arun,
yes,
we have come to the end of the chapter, end of the book also almost. One more page is left.
Yes.
So next week we'll be finishing, I think, book.
Yes, Auntie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we will discuss what we will do after this. I think Vahini suggestions have come. I think a few Vahini suggestions. We can take up another Vahini.
Yeah.
Or then we'll continue from then onwards.
Yeah.
Because the timing, because now the summer is showing up, people are also reducing. Yeah. So we that's one. Number two, the centers also may start opening because in another 3 weeks I hear things are reasonably back to normal. So I don't know how the timings would work. So there's some suggestions. Once this is done, shall we do one session on Saturday? Because if centers have, and we are all active in the center, should we move one on Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning? Then, because I think many people like the online, so that people across various places can actually join. So those are some thoughts which are there. So I will welcome you all to think, and then you can express your thoughts, ideas. So anyway, for next week, we will have it on Sunday. Maybe we'll complete. And for everyone's benefit, next Friday, we are having Guru Purnima celebrations at Scarborough, and Mani Auntie will be coming and speaking and singing. The program is from 7 onwards, Mani Auntie's program, but the bhajans will be there from 6 onwards. So all are welcome. Please pass on the information.
Sai Ram, brother, next Sunday there is a Padaga Puja from 8 to, but still we have the study circle at 3, yeah?
Yes. Study circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sai Ram, brother, the humble request, brother, for Mani Auntie, we like to see her face too, So we are blessed to have her in the study circle, and she's the one from Swami in 1950s, So we like to see her face, and one day we like to hear the Vibhuti mantra too from her. This is my wish too. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll do it.
Thank you, Auntie.
Sai Ram.
Okay, Sai Ram. You can come and see Auntie in person because she's coming.
She's coming there.
Yes.
Please. Okay, Sai Ram.
I myself have not seen Auntie in person, so I'm also looking forward. Though we have talked on the phone and video chats, it had not come. So on Guru Purnima day, we'll be meeting.
Thank you. Sai Ram.
So we'll close with Samastaloka.
Samastaloka.
Yeah.
Oh, Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother.